Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. And every so often, I get an email or a comment from some young guy, and by young, I mean 20, maybe 30 years old, early 30s. And usually, I get something along the lines of they can't take it anymore in the U.S. Things are so bad now, I need to move. I need to change. The girlfriend dumped them, or they want to run away from their girlfriend or wife or whatever. And they've been to Thailand, or they've heard that Thailand is perfect. So they're ready for the change and they want to move on over here. Now, 10 or 15 years ago, I would have said, go for it. Have at it. You're young enough, you can fail and then go back to the U.S. or wherever you come from. Now I would say think before you overcommit. Uh, Times have changed, and they've been changing. I've been talking about this for a long time, but when I moved here, the dollar was, this is 25 years ago, the dollar was much stronger. The value for the dollar was better. That's also very important. I think the value, you got quite a bit more value then than you do now. There were less Westerners, and speaking generally, the Thais working in tourist areas were a little less jaded. Not to say that they're all jaded, but the attitude has changed a little bit. You're As a foreigner, you are no longer a novelty. And while Thais are still very friendly and it's a great place to live, uh, in the tourist areas they are a little bit more jaded now. Also, immigration laws were more lax. It was easier, life was easier here as an expat to navigate. And if you've been here for a while, you understand what I mean. There's a lot of things that immigration has done in the past couple of years. They've tried to shore things up to where anybody just can't come. You can't just be a backpacker and come over here and just live and you've got $500 in the bank. In the past, people used to do that, and they used to take up teaching English, and I think it's more risky now. That's probably, if you take one thing away from this video, it's more risky now than it used to be. Uh, Immigration laws are trickier. The baht is weaker against the dollar. The cost of living has risen. And I'd say if you're going to come over here as a young person, a younger person, and by young, it could be 20 to say 45. I'd say anywhere from about 20 to 45. If you're going to come over here, have a job lined up. Have some kind of a passive income that's more than enough to cover your basic needs. Or you have a pension of some sort, whatever it might be, military, disability, whatever. Or you have some kind of reliable, portable job. But you need to have a fair amount of income. And it used to be the gold standard was $1,000 a month. And but you can get by for 500 to 700. I remember a guy sent me a message many years ago saying, well, there's food on the side of the road out in the villages, and I can always stop and just pick some food off the trees on the side of the road and get food that way. I mean, this is the mentality of some people, and that's to me, that's not how you go about doing things. But if you want an adventure, that's what I wanted. I just wanted an adventure. I wanted to see. I planned to come here for a year, and I figured my money will last me. I had like 10 grand. I had money coming every month, and I thought if I last a year, then I have money to go back to the U.S. and start over again. But what happened was I got here and I didn't want to go back. And I was still okay, so I was still okay financially. So I was like, all right, well, let me stay a little bit longer. It wasn't easy, hasn't been easy. And if I was to recommend something, if I was to say, if I was to ask myself, or somebody was to ask me, and this has been asked of me in the past, would you still move to Thailand now if you were, say, 32, like I was when I moved before? And my answer, the short answer is no. There's no way that I would do it. I would have more money. I would work longer. I would probably not move to Thailand or anywhere else for that matter, and until I was a little bit closer to retirement age, whatever the country I was going to move to, say Thailand, it's 50. I wouldn't move to Thailand until I was, say, 45 years old. I wouldn't move permanently because you can always come over for, say, a few weeks at a time. You can come over for, listen, I came over for a 4-day weekend before. It wasn't easy, and it was draining, but I wanted to come, so I did. If you're young and you plan on staying for several years, you should keep in mind that most older expats, so if you decide you're going to stay here for a while and become old here, like I did, most expats end up with Thai girlfriends or Thai wives, which can be an additional expense, but it's not the expense so much because they can always work, and two incomes are better than one, but it's the responsibility. You have more responsibilities. Now, we have kids. We have a much greater responsibility than, say, a single person, at least most single people. So it's something to think about. More money, stash the cash, make sure you have everything lined up before you come. I think the days of, say, the beach, when you just come over and you have a little bit of money and you're staying on Khao San Road, okay, if you really want to do that, yeah, you can do it. You can stretch out your money for a couple of years. But to do it long term, to move long term, I think is a little foolish and risky at this time, and I think you're better served working longer, moving here only when you know retirement is in sight. You can always get an elite visa if you want for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, whatever you have the money for, and then you're set. You know you're going to have a visa and you don't have to worry about it. And then you got to have living expenses. So if you figure it out and you do the math, it's pretty simple to figure out if you have enough or not once you learn a little bit about the country and what is involved in living here. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. That's all I got for now. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Click like. Leave a comment. Share the video. And that's all I got. It's early in the morning. I need to get some coffee in me. So, till next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la Jerk and Mai.